here, I really want to do a quick recap of what happened last month because of how many things has actually happened and not happened at the same time. Starting off with picking up my amazing boyfriend who flew across the world just to visit me after being LDR for 6 months or so now, and it's really hard to believe that so much time has passed of me staying in Denmark. I still remember when I first moved here being so terrified of everything, not knowing the language, not knowing anybody here, and just basically restarting my whole life. But then being also so excited for actually starting a job that I really wanted to be in and just being able to challenge myself in a different way. Even though it was definitely hard to get used to, I'm still really happy that I actually bit the bullet and just took this opportunity to move here. Because I feel like it gave me room to grow as a person because I have to be alone by myself, right? So it just forced me to actually realize deep down like what am I actually interested in. And it's not to say that when I hang out with other people in the past that I didn't enjoy what I was doing, but it was more of basically it's learning how to be happy on my own and reducing the reliance on other people, because in the end of the day you only have you. So for me, that means holding up occasionally in my room to read on my manga or just watching my YouTube videos, and maybe setting aside time to go and play some games or just catch up with some friends and my loved ones, and also cooking delicious food and making videos for you guys. On that note, even though I would really love for this account to be a travel account, but let's be real, I don't have that kind of money for it to be a full-time traveler, so we're gonna stick to at-home videos where I just talk like this. How is it?
Very good.
And a bonus of making cooking videos is that it adds a bit more variety to my normal meals. After a couple days of rest, we decided to go to IKEA and have a little date where we looked at Christmas trees for sale. And this is actually super common where you can find them at any supermarket as well. And because I'm moving back to Malaysia next year, I've also been starting to think about how I would like to decorate my new place. And we're just looking at all the IKEA furnishing just as inspiration. But honestly, how is it so good? I just want everything. Ris salaman, IKEA meatballs, apple juice, and what's that? Cola. This is like a traditional Danish dessert, which is really, really good actually. So the IKEA one was kind of trash. The rice in the rice pudding was still a bit too hard for my personal preference, so I didn't really like it as much. A part of me still thinks that I can make a better version of it, not gonna lie, because I heard that the recipe is actually really easy. But because it's my boyfriend's birthday soon, I decided that instead of making risalaman, I'll make a blueberry lemon cake. For a couple of years now, I've been trying to make some sort of version of a blueberry cake because my boyfriend's favorite thing is blueberry muffins, and I'm still not that great at it, to be honest. So this time I tried to do it a little bit more interesting by using a lemon cake box mix situation and using my own blueberry jam that I made and just adding it in, so hoping that it would create a marble cake effect. But it didn't really turn out the way that I wanted it to. So I'm not going to show you how it looks on the inside because it looks way better on the outside. And we had a taste of how it is after we let it cool for a bit. And with the lemon glaze, actually it tasted really good. The texture had that kue raya taste. I don't really know how to explain it in English, to be honest. But we're definitely not supposed to get that texture, I think. But we didn't get food poisoning, and that's all that matters. So during my boyfriend's birthday week, we also had a couple of friends from uni come and visit us in Copenhagen, and we decided to do some day trips while we're all here because apparently all of their birthdays are really close to each other, and it's also been a long time since all of us has been in the same place. And as the local resident here, it was my job to go and bring us all around because it's actually their first time coming to Copenhagen. But the thing is, I don't really know where to go, so we ended up going to Helsingør, which is my go-to place. We ended up going to the Maritime Museum, which is free and located next to the food market, so you can always go if you want to. And they talk about the struggles that they had, and we also of course had to go to the castle, but we didn't really want to pay the entrance fee. If you didn't know, you can still walk along the outer walls of the castle, And once you pass through on these tunnels, then you can actually go and see the Öresund, which you can then see Sweden on the other side of it, so Helsingborg. Funnily enough, I go to Helsingør quite a fair bit, but I've only been to Helsingborg once, so we decided that why not also extend this day to go make a day trip to Helsingborg and knock down Sweden as well. The last time I was there, actually, it was filled with graduation, so I actually didn't get to explore as much because a lot of the roads were blocked because of the graduation. So I'm also really excited to be there because I wonder what it's like normally. So a friend told me that night you can actually find some people who will like buy a ticket to board this ferry that goes between Helsingør and Helsingborg, so it doesn't go anywhere else, that they would use it as like a place to party because it's like a tax-free area, and maybe do a bit of like gambling as well, which is like quite funny to see. Just them sitting in there never getting off until they're done. But yeah, apparently it happens, and we've actually seen a couple of people who were doing that. So a bad thing about December is that the days get shorter, so you don't see the sun as much. But the good thing about December is that with Christmas around the corner, you get to see all the Christmas lights, and that's really nice. But here they had like this light show every like 20 minutes or so on the medieval towers. It was about like evolution, how much time it served as a reminder for you to appreciate the now and don't get overwhelmed. And also because apparently it was the winter solstice, didn't plan this, that there was a performance at the local church. This lady who's going to like light up the way, something like that. I didn't really quite understand the story because everything was in Swedish, so I don't really know what was happening, but it was still a nice performance overall. I enjoyed the singing, no idea what they said, but enjoyed the vibes of it. Also, it was about this point that you don't really see it, but I've been going out for like a couple days straight, and honestly my social battery was so drained, because even my company, we had like a Christmas dinner kind of thing, so we went out socializing, played some games, and then had our dinner. And honestly, regardless of how amazing it is, I think I was just so tired and I was starting to feel a bit sick. But fortunately, I can also use this as an excuse to taste my boyfriend's delicious cooking as well. So as part of our next day trip road trip, we decided to go to Hillerød to see the Frederiksborg castle. And honestly, this was one of the best castles I've been to in Denmark, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's also going sightseeing around the area. So for us, we drove there, but I think you can also get the train easily to Hillerød, but I don't really know how far you need to walk, so you just need to check on Google Maps. But yeah, this place was also recommended to me by my co-workers when I told them that my friends were coming over to go sightseeing. So even the locals did like this castle, so that's something to know about. Yeah. The interior of this castle was super fancy. You could see that there was like a church in the middle of the castle. You didn't need to go to another building to see it. So even when it was raining, it was actually a really good spot to just like hide in, because everything is in one spot and you don't need to worry too much about it. Like these statues kind of make me think of like the thinker. That kind of vibe. Oh, I guess so. Like if they charge it to anyone, right? And you can just like body block them. In a chest. They're twins. It looks like the Queen of Hearts. This one. So as you probably could tell, we were really enjoying ourselves, and can we please take a moment to appreciate this mirror that helps you see like the ceiling paintings, because the amount of times I've been to other castles and I hurt my neck just by trying to take picture of what's going on upstairs, like on the ceiling. Yeah. Even though we're like indoors, but it feels very cold and airy. There was also this nook that had like this really cool globe that had all like the different constellations or whatnot, and honestly on its own it's really nice, but I can't help but like think about like what if the royal family in the past was just really astrology people. So imagine like the royal family being like as an empath, the full moon is affecting me right now. Or they suddenly whip out tarot cards to tell you about your future, and it's just kind of hilarious. Like, to be fair, like, I do dabble in it, but like, yeah, it's just funny. This is who?
Muammar Gaddafi, the dictator of Libya, that was overthrown and killed later by US and US fund rebels.
Once we were done touring the castle, we decided to make our next stop, which was actually this Christmas market in a Viking village. So I think on normal occasions you can visit this Viking village, but for this time there were a lot of stalls opening up and it's free entrance, and everything there was actually reasonably priced. So we got to try a lot of different meads, and my friend even bought like a couple, so like one big bottle was about like 15 pounds or so. And personally, I actually find mead much more enjoyable than normal alcohol.
Yes.
Potato soup
Okay.
with bacon inside,
Yeah.
bread. Then this is the apple skewer with sugar and strawberry jam. So contrary to the name, I thought there would be apples in it, but there were not. But these were pretty okay. We also got some hot dogs and pancakes, which is basically with the same toppings with the apple skewer. Honestly, by now, I kind of forgot that we also had dinner reservations, but my friend really wanted to try some traditional Danish food, and we were actually really lucky to get this booking on the same day, because most places in Copenhagen require people to book a week in advance, but I think because we were slightly outskirts, so we still managed to do okay. So remember how I said I was feeling unwell earlier? Yeah, the next few days I basically died at home and couldn't go out with my friends, but my boyfriend bought me some cookies. It's apparently from a really fancy patissier place, and it's only in Denmark, and my friends were buying for the manager, so to make me feel included, my boyfriend bought me some so that I can try it back at home and just feel included, which was really nice of him. And honestly, after tasting a few, it was kind of mid.